your hometown news and information station.
Welcome back. With us now is Kevin Graham. We were talking about personal injury law. Kevin, before the break, we were talking, we got into what to expect from your attorney. So if you've been injured and you've decided to hire an attorney, what should an individual expect from that attorney?
Well, the attorney should basically, first advise you not to speak to anyone else. You should only be speaking to the attorney. But the attorney should basically, for example, in a car wreck case, it's the attorney's job, I believe, to go out and look at the scene independently, get an idea of the feel for the street, the lane, number of lanes, etc., and also to obtain the police report to keep up with the client as far as the treatment, their medical treatment, and order records as promptly as possible. It's also very important that a letter or some type of communication go out as quickly as possible to the insurance adjuster for the negligent party or parties that you are pursuing a claim against as soon as possible, because you want to cut off all communication between your client and the insurance adjusters or any representative. So as soon as you get the letter out, that cuts off communication. So even while you're still treating and the claim can't be resolved, the attorney should be working on the case, developing it, and getting the preliminary stuff ready so when you are released that your claim will have a good chance of resolving fast, which is what everybody wants. Nobody wants to have to go through years of litigation. I mean, you want to have an attorney that's willing to do that and is prepared to do that, but obviously most of my clients want to resolve their claims quickly, especially if the injuries are not catastrophic.
Okay. So if it does go, if you can't get it settled and it has to go to litigation, what is that process?
Well, the first thing you'd have to do is to file a lawsuit. In Tennessee, which is obviously our viewers live in Germantown, so most of the claims are going to be in, most of your claims are assumed to be in Tennessee. You only have a 1-year statute from date of discovery of your injury, which for almost all purposes can be the date of your injury, in which to file a lawsuit. And so as soon as the attorney realizes that the claim cannot settle, he or she should file the lawsuit. You don't have to wait for the year because then the lawsuit gets the process going. And then after you file the lawsuit, a number of things can happen. A lot of times settlement negotiations can reopen. There's insurance companies have a litigation department, allow them, and the claims get reassigned. And at that time, it's possible you can have additional settlement negotiations. If that doesn't work out, then you're going to get a letter from the attorney for the defendant that you're suing. And then typically they file paperwork and they send you questions called interrogatories for your client to answer. So there's a process where you have to basically fill out a bunch of paperwork. I guess a lot of busy work, but it is important for the process. And so you want to have an attorney that is experienced in answering discovery and filing what's called paper discovery. And then usually a deposition would then be taken of your client and perhaps the other party and perhaps witnesses, say in a car wreck. So depositions will be the next step.
And so the viewers know that some may not know what a deposition is.
Yeah, a deposition is where you go to usually another lawyer's office, either your own lawyer's office or another lawyer's office, and you are asked questions by the attorney that's representing the defendant, the person that you're suing. There's no judge there, but there's a court reporter there, and the court reporter is basically taking down your testimony. It seems almost relaxed and informal in a way, but it's very important because later on, if you have to go to trial, anything you say in your deposition that's contrary to what you testified to at the trial can be read to the jury and it can be used to impeach you. So the deposition is a very important part of the case, and that is your attorney should spend a considerable amount of time preparing you for the deposition. If your attorney just shows up 5 minutes before the deposition, that's not a good sign. You want to have meetings with your attorney. If it's an injury case, of course, is what we're here about, your attorney should make copies of your medical records and have you review them before your deposition, as well as get your prior medical records so you can remember what your prior medical problems may be. And that's we're kind of getting along to the the steps after depositions. It's not mandatory in Tennessee, but a lot of times mediations or some type of settlement formal settlement negotiations are taken, and a mediation is where you go to another lawyer's office, but this lawyer has no interest in the case whatsoever. He or she has to be impartial. The mediator would try to resolve, see if the parties can come to some type of settlement that, while no one's going to be happy with it, it'll make them, enough to where they've compromised and then go on with their lives and not have to worry about a trial. Mediation is different from a deposition, where in a deposition I told you there was a court reporter there taking down your testimony. In mediation, there is no, it's court reporter, and it cannot be used against you in trial. Anything you say, any offers made are all confidential, and they can't be presented as evidence in any trial. So it's quite a bit different than the deposition. If you can't settle the case in mediation, usually then the attorney, if he or she hasn't already, will have to take additional depositions of usually your treating doctors, physicians, and they have to testify as to your injuries and where the injuries caused by, for example, the car wreck or your fall at the Walmart. A doctor would have to testify to that, and as to your medical bills. You as a lay person cannot testify as to your bills being reasonable and necessary. So the attorney would have to take some more, perhaps a medical deposition, maybe one or two, and whatever additional small things have to be done, and then hopefully there's already a trial date set, so you can go to trial. Also, there's, of course, even after all that is done, you still don't settle. Lots of cases settle at the courthouse steps for a variety of different reasons. But if that doesn't work, then you're in the trial. Unfortunately, in Shelby County, when you file a lawsuit in circuit court, which is where most personal injury lawsuits are filed, you're lucky to be going to trial in 2 years. And that is one of the reasons why so many cases settle, probably 99% or more, either settle or they get dismissed and never go to trial.
Okay. Our time is up for this edition of Legalese. I'd like to thank our guest for taking time out of his busy schedule to be with us and sharing his thoughts and insights. If you would like any more information about Legalese or any other program on GHS TV, please refer to our website at www.ghstv.org. Thank you for joining us today. Be sure to join us next time for more discussion on legal topics. Until then, I am Vince Perryman, and thank you for watching.